Beep, 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 beep. Hello and welcome to the court of the Edijester. So great to have you back. There's an EDI flavour in the air. EDI, equality, diversity and inclusion. Right? Okay, one of the biggest cons in history. Right? That's what it is, a con. You get that, right? Has anybody been put through at work? I'm sure some of you are, where you sit there and they dribble on about colonialisation and black people and white people and green people and how it's important that you must recognise asexuals who aren't getting enough. You must be going through this stuff at work, surely, because it's just cobblers. It's just absolute rubbish, all of it. Forget it. Just throw it in the bin, right? We've got here, right, the Committee for Academic Freedom. Become a warrior teacher, by the way. Buy me a coffee if you can. Subscribe and become a Jesterite. That's what keeps me going. You want me to keep going? That's what it's going to take. All right, so here we go. London universities force staff to agree with controversial points of view. London universities, okay? This is from somebody called ED Skids. That's a shame, isn't it? ED Skids on the 28th of April 2024, so we're going back a bit. But it is on the AFCOM with two M's, afcom.org.uk website, and the link is for you in the doobers, as usual. 4 prominent London universities have equality, diversity and inclusivity training courses which misstate the law and force their staff to affirm controversial points of view. They're just Maoists, aren't they? Okay. I'm here today to talk to you about equality, diversity and inclusion. And then somebody in the background should stick on a speaker. Mow, mow, mow. Mow, 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 mow. That's what they should do, shouldn't they? CAF has seen equality, diversity and inclusion EDI training courses and spoken to academics who have been forced to take them from Queen Mary University of London. Take a bow. King's College London, take a bow. University College London, take a bow. And Imperial College London, take a bow. It sounds like the worst university challenge team ever. And your chosen subject? Screwing people out of money by using a made-up concept to make sure they feel guilty about who they are, and then making them agree with hard left nonsense for thousands of pounds and ripping off the British public. Okay, and your starter for 10 is? Can you imagine if it was the original boat? Was it Bandy Grassgroin or something? And then we have, who was it that did it then? It was that smug TV bloke. What was his name? I can't remember. Wrote a great book called The English. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway. So then we've got each university. Highlighted each university. Queen Mary University of London, QMUL, QMUL, has a training course titled Challenging Unconscious Bias. They're still doing it. It's been debunked for about 4 years and they're still doing it. I just can't. This is supposed to be our biggest and brightest. It's thick as pig shit. Right, the course is mandatory for all academic staff and must be retaken and passed every 2 years. That's cult indoctrination, by the way. That's cult indoctrination. And the academic staff sitting there going, oh, yeah, I agree. You bloody academics, grow up here. The course is mandatory, as I've said. Every 2 years, in order to pass the test, staff must answer a series of questions and score at least 80%. So they've got to say. Do you agree that women can be men and men can be women? What's that particular question? Can I just ask, what's that one question worth? 79%. One question's asked staff whether they agree that the implicit association test is used by psychologists to study unconscious bias. The correct answer is yes. The suggestion that the implicit association test is a well-established scientific method is further underlined by the recommendation that course participants themselves take an IAT. In fact, IATs are highly controversial amongst them. They're just rubbish. Highly controversial. They're just cobblers. It's another one of those, take a test and find out which character you are, So you go on, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? It's just psychometric babble. Psychobabble. So you go along and online and it comes up with, which Coronation Street character are you, or which Star Wars character, or which Avengers character are you, or which Game of Thrones character are you. No, it does that, and then you answer a series of questions and it tells you who you are. We cover this in the Warrior Teacher Programme. All this bollocks. That's the IAT test. Oh, incidentally, when I did the which West Wing character are you, I came out as the president. I was okay with that result. Unfortunately, when I did Star Wars, I came out as Darth Vader. Go figure. Another question asks whether making assumptions about people based simply on stereotypes is a useful shortcut for thinking and doesn't indicate unconscious bias. The correct answer is no. A third asks staff whether they should keep quiet when other people behave in a biased way and concentrate instead on being unbiased themselves. The correct answer is again no. So they're asking them to interfere with other people. So you're in work. Where are we? This is only the Queen Mary one. She was quite majestic, Queen Mary, like a galleon, I believe. She could sweep in and out places. If you hear somebody being biased, then you have to pick them up on it, because that's going to end well. Right, you imagine you've got some old curmudgeon. All right, behave. You've got some old curmudgeon, right? And this sort of 28-year-old academic walks in the room. The old curmudgeon says something about, gay people being, so some gay people being like flamers. It's a great line, isn't it? Oh, he's gay, bit of a flamer. Because we are. Some of us are. So they're getting away from, oh, hello, we're all a bit flamer. Some people are, right? That's a stereotype. It could be unconscious bias. It could just be a statement. Or the person says something about something else that the person thinks is unconscious bias, but isn't. So this 26-year-old goes to the professor, yeah, you really ought to do better, professor. It's going to end well, isn't it? They're training soldiers. They're training soldiers for their Maoist revolution. That's what they're doing. You don't believe me? Don't. You don't have to. But that's what they're doing. Should we have a look and see what one more's been up to just before we stop? King's College London has a course entitled Introduction to Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. In 2023, academics were required to have taken a previous version of the course in order to be considered for promotion. So they're now saying, if you don't buy into the equality, diversity and inclusion hard left nonsense, you won't get promoted. This is pure communism on every level. Do what the party says, otherwise you won't go forward. Like what they used to do with communism years ago when they used to exclude the Jewish people. Now we get rid of them. Not right thinkers. It's all that stuff. This is that in universities. Who's driving it? Well, couldn't be UKRI, could it? Or Advanced HE? I don't know. Maybe you should go and have a look and see if you can find out who's driving it. That would be an interesting project, wouldn't it? Who's driving it? They banned it now in many countries in the States. They banned it, not countries. What do they call them? Many states in America have banned it. All this crap. We can identify what it is. We know what the narratives are. You can easily say to the universities, you're not doing this. It's directly against the public sector equality duty, which, by the way, it is. You're going to get some 26-year-old sit down in front of a group of people and say to them, actually, you've got unconscious bias and there's nothing you can do about it. You are a faulty human. This is psychology. This is the psychological interference in the education process, and it has to go. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. Get rid of it. Stop fannying about. Where's the university person? It used to be Michelle Donnellan. Who is it now? Mickey Bloody Mouse? Anyway, go well. That's enough of my ranting. I'll see you later. Bye.